Before you know it, the whole of SS2 started shouting, "Shake it," anytime I pass. We know what they are talking about, obviously, but are we really the problem, or is the world the problem? Most people that talk about modest dressing mostly talk about their personal preference at times.
On one occasion, my teacher in primary 2 even called me one day and told me that about my chestnut, and then she just hit my chest. That she stopped chestnut, and I was like, chestnut, and mind you, I was still growing breast at that point. So you can imagine.
People will still end up complaining, and there's nothing like modest clothing because such grace isn't extended. Hi everyone, and welcome to Unfiltered and Unafraid. I am your host Becca, and this is the very first episode of Unfiltered and Unafraid. I'm so happy to have you here. Basically, Unfiltered and Unafraid is our little corner where people can talk their truth without overthinking and sugarcoating everything. It's about being real, being honest, and not feeling like you have to shrink your opinion to make other people comfortable. The whole point of this series is to remind us that everybody sees life differently, and that's okay. Two people can look at the same situation and have completely different takes, and instead of fighting about it, we can actually learn something from each other. I want this space to feel open, like you can hear somebody's perspective and be like, oh, this actually makes sense, and pick one or two from it. Not because anyone is trying to force opinion on you, but because sometimes all it takes is one conversation to shift your thinking. At the end of the day, Unfiltered and Unafraid is about real voices, raw thoughts, and kind conversations that help us grow, reflect, and understand each other better. Let's talk. I posted something online on my Snapchat and on my Instagram, and then I got some replies from it, but I'm going to post the opinion, the hot take that the woman posted online that gave me such replies. So let's read it together. I have a very hot take. There's nothing like modest clothing. It's a false concept. A piece of clothing is only as modest as the type of body wearing it. Modest clothing only applies to slim, normal/medium-sized people. The moment a fat person or a thick person wears it, the moment a fat person wears it is no longer modest. You hear opinions like, the skirt is too tight, it's showing your shape, your breast is too big for the top, why didn't you pack it well? Fat or thick women can't drop their shape at home. That's what she's saying. They can't drop their shape at home. And at times, some of them even buy two sizes bigger or larger than the normal size. People will still end up complaining, and there's nothing like modest clothing because such grace isn't extended to fat people. Then I ended up sharing my experience as a child. It was quite a vulnerable post because as a child, I was not the regular slim, I didn't look like a child. I looked older than my age, way older than my age. So I always had this, how will I put it? I always had the urge to dress like my age mates. Like, if we're going for party, my friends are wearing bomb shorts, and it's like a birthday party, and I also want to wear shorts, but they'll not tell me, you're different, you're this and you're that, you can't wear that, you rather wear trouser. And then when you're thinking, I'm a child, why would a man, at that point I didn't even understand the concept of, I didn't know there was something like pedophiles and all. But then why would this affect anybody, and why am I being treated differently from others? And after I shared that experience, I realized that a lot of people had the same experience, and I thought it was just me. I felt sad that a lot of people experienced that, and I know that the adults around us don't mean no bad. They don't mean any bad. They're just trying to look out for us. But are we really the problem, or is the world the problem? Because while we're young children, forced to act in a certain way only to please the society and the world, because the world is a terrible place. So I'm just going to go straight into reading the comments and the replies that I got from people. Our first person on the list is Erica. Erica from Snapchat said, they don't realize how painful it is to constantly feel like your body is being blamed for existing naturally, as if bigger breasts, wider hips, thicker thighs are somehow inappropriate on their own. Like you're expected to shrink yourself just to deserve the same grace thinner people receive automatically. Like, is it my fault? That's why conversations about modesty are very unfair to me, because society decides what's appropriate based on who is wearing it rather than what's actually being worn. Sometimes you're not even dressing for attention at all. You're literally just existing in the only body that you have. And somehow, that alone becomes too much for people. There were moments I genuinely felt like I had to make myself smaller just to be left alone. Smaller in clothing, smaller in presence, smaller in body language, because somehow existing comfortably in my own skin felt like I personally offended people. So many times I've looked for a way to become smaller. So many times weight loss teas or supplements. I'm so sorry you had to go through all of that. But yeah, let me share my experience based on this. When I was in secondary school, junior secondary school, 3 precisely, my skirt was below my knee, and my shirt was bongo, how we call it then, bongo shirt. And every time I walk past SS1, was it SS1 or SS2 class, 2 boys there, 2 guys that will always shout, "Shake it." And then that's how I got bullied. I will not say they didn't know it was bullying because it affected me emotionally. I was not dressed immodestly. So like, my question is, where are we actually getting it wrong? Like, why are you people pinning it on modesty and immodesty? Like, why is it what was she wearing that she got harassed? Why are we not talking about the actual culprits? I would pass the classroom, they would shout, "Shake it," and before you know it, the whole of SS2 started shouting, "Shake it," anytime I pass. We know what they are talking about, obviously, but I felt bad. They would shout, "Shake it," and even the girls in the class would be laughing. Everybody would be laughing. Where was my skirt? Way below my knee. Why are we doing like it's the whole clothing that's the problem? I really want you people to answer this question. Is it actually the clothing that's the problem, or is it the world that's the problem? Joe from Snapchat said, "I guess when we revert to the actual meaning behind modesty, we should understand that it just means to be dressed in a way where all your sensual body parts are covered. Example, clothes covering your thighs, cleavage, back, and all that. Nobody has control over the shape they have. So it would be insensitive to say a thick lady shouldn't wear a bodycon dress because it shows her curves." He just explained the whole meaning of modesty, and he's like, whether you're slim or whether you are chubby or thick, your back, your thighs, your breasts should be covered. That is the meaning of modesty. So he's hereby debunking whatever that lady said. The quote, "Slim people and fat people have different grace. Once you're thick, you don't get the same grace as slim people, and whatever you wear is now immodest." Anonymous, she said, "First time I'm talking on here, like that's my series, but largely applies to tall girls too. Like, am I supposed to leave the rest of my legs in the house or something?" Reading this actually made me feel so emotional. She said, "I don't wear certain tops just because I have bigger boobs and people would see it as exposing your breast. Or is it the skirt? There was a time I only wore bubu, joggers, big shirts, so I could hide the fact that I was thick. But I stopped because I realized I started hating my body. And no matter what I wore, people would say I was exposing my body. Most times, I buy 2 sizes larger, just so it won't look tight or too revealing. I can't wear bikinis or swimsuits like smaller people do. It's really crazy. I remember crying in the market one time, Wat market to be precise, because everyone kept talking "see bom bom," and all those types of statements to them. It felt like it was normal, or they were complimenting me. But to me, it felt weird because I got uncomfortable, and the funny part is that I was putting on a leggings and a top that was not even cropped up. I cried so much that till date, I don't dress like that in the market anymore. It's either I wear a bubu or joggers and polo, just anything that will hide my curves, and it's really not meant to be. This stigma damages you. You end up hating your body. And there was a time I wished I was smaller. I did everything I could. Took this, took that, and I ended up with bad stomach infection. It was crazy. I cried so much in the market that day. My friends were trying to calm me down, but they didn't really see it as anything, because to them it felt like compliments, but to me it didn't. Well, a lot of girls said that they tried their best to look smaller because of the way they felt in their body. That's just sad. Anonymous said, "This, I am petite with tiny waist and backside. And things I hear is, oh, you're small with this heavy bum bum. Isn't it too much? Oh, I like your type in bed." Like it sickens me most times. I wasn't proud of my body, especially in certain clothes that outlined my body. I'm just learning now that whether I cover up from head to toe, they will still sexualize you. And it's not about what you wear. Some people are just crazy. Let's not even talk about the guys who would come for you because of your body. It's crazy, honestly. I took stuff one time to see if I could reduce. I went into a terrible place because I was constantly being harassed. And now I'm trying to get back to looking like a human being. Love yourself like mad and just do what is right. Oh, this just made me remember my 200 level internship. Gosh. So my classmates and I did it in the same place. Two of them are very busty, and obviously there's nothing they would put on that would hide those features. You needed to see the way women in the office were always looking for means to pick on them. I mean, the littlest things they did, and these women would act like they killed someone. It got to the point where we overheard them talking and saying things that you would think was coming out from the mouth of an educated person. You'd wonder if they should just put on a sack or cut off their breast whenever they have to come to work. And it's actually so sad that a lot of people have to experience this for real. Precious said, "Omo, I suffered same. I was so scared of being kidnapped one day or end up being a victim of rape. I started wearing rings on my ring finger just so I could scare them away by saying I'm a married woman. They believed because I looked too matured for my age. And I started doing that after one malam at the shopping complex in my estate touched my breast." Mind you, I was just a 15-year-old girl with natural curls. I was also harassed by some men on the road when I went to the market that was close to my house. I simply rolled up my shirt on top of my waist, and the idiot had the mind to slap the shirt down, and his hands touched my bum bum, and he said, "You dey craze this small girl who you want show nyash for market." I cried my eyes out because I couldn't do anything before they beat me up. Even my mom up till now, she doesn't like the fact I wear leggings and fitted dresses. The worst is my uncle. Omo, it is a lot though. If someone asks me what's my biggest insecurity, I would say my shape will real. Because girl, the comments I get when I'm walking on the road, even from mannerless boys and married men, even when they are inside their cars, it's not like I wear dresses that tend to expose me. It's too much, I beg. Sometimes it makes me lose confidence in myself. It's so bad that my walking step changed when I walk in the midst of people. Even my dad noticed it. They said I'm proud, but no, I'm shy. Very, very shy. I get where you're coming from. Growing up, I felt like, oh, I have no insecurities and everything. But then if you ask me what's your insecurity, I would say my shape. Because why is it drawing so much attention? Why are people laughing? Why am I walking on the road and they're shouting, oh, even when I'm wearing a boo-boo gown, and then they'll say, what was she wearing? It's all about modesty and immodesty. No, It's all about the people that don't know how to work on themselves and become better people in life. When I was in secondary school, I was the only girl wearing trouser, and it was baggy because of my body type. Secondary school. When other girls are wearing the secondary school flare skirts, and then all of a sudden they say, you are a chosen, come and wear long trouser. Even the boys, let's assume they are innocent. The boys in the school, in all their innocence, will be wondering, why is this person wearing trouser? Things that are not supposed to be. Some adults that time will just be picking on them to make it a big deal. Because what are you trying to say? Okay, is it the male teachers that are the problem? Is it the students? Is it the children that are the problem? I just feel like we need to do a lot better. Anonymous said, you know what's worse? When you're thick and tall. Oh, the comments are hurtful. I remember once, this was 2021, and I was in Unical at that time. It was the year that Aphrodite jean trended. I got me a pair because I liked it, but oh, the comments I got from people when I walked past. When you open your body finish, who will marry you? Men that will proceed to call you when you don't even answer to their cat calling. Once I was assaulted in a taxi, and when I complained, one lady said I invited him because of what I wore. My crime? I was a tall girl with thick thighs at 17. Crazy. Oh, that's crazy. And she went on to say, mind you, my younger sister that's slimmer wore that exact pair of jeans and she was invisible. So where did it all go wrong? What's the problem actually? Is it really the clothing, or is the person in the clothing? This is so conflicting, and everybody has different things that they are saying. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'd really like to know your opinion in the comment section. Odogu's wife on Snapchat, she said, modest clothing absolutely exist in my own opinion. The problem is not the clothing, it's the way society chooses to view certain bodies. A tall, curvy, or plus-size woman cannot remove her natural shape before getting dressed, obviously. If she intentionally chooses clothes that provide coverage and carries herself with decency, then that's right there is modesty. The fact that people will sexualize her does not cancel out the modesty in her outfits. It only exposes society's bias. Now let me say this. People often confuse having a visible body shape with being immodest, especially when it comes to thick or curvier women. But modesty was never meant to be exclusive to slim bodies. A woman covering herself appropriately, despite having curves, is actually proof that modest clothing exists. Her body shape should not determine whether her intentions, dignity, or clothing are respected. She would have chosen to be half naked or dressed inappropriately, but she didn't. The availability of modest clothes and the actual effort to put into wearing them proves that modest clothing exists. Mind you, there are places that you will find yourself as a curvy woman who dresses modestly, and no one in that space will sexualize you. The problem is the society, not the women and not the clothes. Beautiful one, Miss Odogu's wife. I love that so much. Let's talk about what this does emotionally and psychologically to a girl. All those side talks, all those compliments, all those, oh my god, your shape. It became a lot of people's insecurities, and it was not really something to be proud of when you became the center of attraction, when you're just trying to exist and you're not trying to, attract anybody. So most times what I'm trying to say is really is not about the clothing. Body type. Now when we talk about body type, we see how a lot of girls with different body types is being treated differently, being harassed, and it's not just the whole what did she wear or this, she was immodest, she was attracting. Should we cut off our people are doing BBL, but we should do reduction and remove it from Anonymous. Let's listen to it together.
Honestly,
But the way I fought myself so much to not think too much about what people say about my body, the insecurity came in and, things happening, somebody looking at you cannot, like, do you get, especially that one I spoke about started wearing free clothes because you want to cover yourself, I don't want anybody to talk about it, and they still talk, they still find something to say. People on the road be looking at you like, why are you looking, like, what are you looking at? But okay, hot girls, I mean, they say now in the internet everybody wants to be thick now, so we're hot girls, so they can't help but look. As well. Can't wear bomb short though. Even when I wear something short, my mom will say, I know you want to wear, I understand. Now she has understood self. But like, people here will be talking and I don't want them to be talking about you, so don't wear. Now, most of like clothes that I can wear freely because I'm in the house, I cannot wear because we don't want people to talk anyhow about me or about women. Nigeria, as well.
Nigeria. There's a VN from Colette.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm not going to lie. Funny enough, I don't know if you know me personally or like I've seen me, but I'm actually not someone you call a thick person. I'm actually considered slim. Yes. But I can relate to the ban on some clothes. My parents always, like, even till today, there are still some clothes that were just automatically banned.
Colette dropped a lot of VNs, so I'm just going to increase the speed a little bit so we can hurry up.
I was in my life until like year 2, and even at that, when I got the skirt, my father was like, I hope you only wear it inside your room. And I was wondering, why would I wear a very fine jean skirt just to wear inside the room? What are you guys so really afraid of? It's just ties. That's what I used to always tell them. But I don't think African parents will ever understand that it's just a laugh. But I won't really blame him because of the kind of comments he has also seen being thrown my way. Sometimes we're walking on the road and people don't know that my father is in front of me or behind me, and they make some comments, even being slim. I can relate a lot to the clothes, the restriction on the clothes and the comments on body type. Okay, I think I'm now, let's say that I'm aging backwards, because when I was 9, people will say that I looked 15. When I was 13, people say I looked 18 and something like that. You get? So I started basic cat calls at a early age. People used to say, oh, it's not, people used to think it's a compliment that people are seeing the beauty. But it made me want to hide, because why are you catcalling a girl? And I also came to this realization that it's actually not about the body, but it's not actually not about the clothes, but the body inside the clothes. When one time, because okay, as I was saying, I was restricted from wearing a lot of clothes when I was younger. Sometimes if I'm depending on the mood I'm in and how my head is stressed another day, I will dress nice, go to the salon and make the hair, pack my hair really well. You get? Then there was a certain day when I didn't have strength, I didn't even have the strength, the time, the patience for my hair, because my hair has always been full, always been thick. And I didn't even comb the hair, just put the hair, left the hair everywhere, didn't pack it, wore this very oversized skirt that reached my ankles, and this very hideous, I'm not even kidding. And I went like that to make my hair, and I was still catcalled. At that instance, I stopped. By the time I got home, I asked my brother, people keep saying that, oh, dress modestly, dress the way you want people to address you. But today, I wasn't looking good, but I was still getting a fine girl. This, like, I was not wondering at this point what really is the issue, and I realized that Omo is not the clothes, it's the body inside the clothes. I started growing breasts very early. Like I think primary 1, when I started having that stealthy sign of I'm going to grow breasts, I'm growing breasts, no pain, and that's tenderness, soreness. By primary 2, I had breasts. I couldn't wear singlets like that anymore, even though I fought back because I didn't want to. But I was hot because I was very active when I was younger, so I was really hot inside my singlets, wearing just my singlets, and my uniform. I didn't want to add another layer. But by primary 2, primary 3, my mother now finally forced me to wear a half cut. From that moment on, I became very aware of my body. Very aware. And the comments of other people, men people make it better. The women will see me and be like, oh, when they call a cycle breast, they want to even touch my chest and be like, small girl like you already have a breast. Not come and comment and be like, this girl has bongo or bongo. Then it make matters all because I've already grown breast, so obviously naturally my posture changed. Because the breast, there's no weight in my front that my body has to compensate for. So people not saying that I was pushing that because I have a naturally up bum, like it's bum, my bum is up. Naturally up bum. And people are still saying I'm chesting out. On one occasion, my teacher in primary 2 even called me one day and told me that why am I chesting out, and then she just hit my chest. That she stopped chesting out, and I was like, chesting out. And mind you, I was still growing breasts at that point, so you can imagine the pain. I was really hyper aware of how my of how my walking step was changing, how my posture was changing. The comments, I would enter over then, I would, in pictures, I used to go to the back because I'm standing inside my classmates and everybody's flat chested, and then there's me, there's something in front. Comments from my class were not helping matters, comments from people around were not helping matters. Do you get the way I felt comfortable was in my house, because nobody there to give comments, and even there, I was still not allowed to wear some things. Even in my house, till up to today, there are some things I cannot wear inside my house. That's why, yes, I'm of the opinion also that there's no clothes that is like modest, because I know yesterday, forgetting about there are clothes that okay, have like some cuts where breasts are exposed and your back is exposed, your laps are exposed. But I raise you, if there's a set of skirts I wear, if my friend that is taller than me wears the skirt, it looks shorter on her, but that skirt is long on me. I have a friend that's thicker than me. If she wears this gown I have, if she wears that gown, everything comes up. So if you look at that piece of clothing, it is modest, but once it enters her body, people now be like, it's too tight. Your breast like this, your bum like this. I think also me, I'm guilty of commenting, get bum. But now I think I'm more aware of how a person's facial reaction is, so that if they look like they're uncomfortable, I stop. That's why even up to now, I'm still uncomfortable receiving comments about my body. I'm still trying to learn to receive comments about my face because of these things. That's why, like, even when I said like, we went on a weekend journey and still like grade out my thighs, modesty for me is just like covering the parts that are deemed private. Do you get? I'm not like exposing too much of it. That's for me. But I can never see a girl on a tight dress that I know that if I wear that dress, it's not going to look like that on me and say that she's not wearing a modest item of clothing. Because I have a friend that even in boo-boo gown, her bum will still shake. Even in jeans, her bum will still shake. So at that point, is the jeans now immodest? No. Is she wearing any modest item of clothing? No. It's just her body type. And let's even be frank, they don't even really make clothes for all body types these days. They just make clothes targeted to one audience, and they expect every other body to just fit into that size of clothes. So I don't really...
Thank you very much, Colette, and thank you for calling yourself out too. Please don't make comments on people's body like that. And I like the fact that you observe their facial expressions, like to check if they're comfortable with that or not. At the end of the day, this is a very, very controversial topic, and we can never really know a dress that's modest if people still catcall girls that are fully dressed on boo-boo and still sexualize girls that are fully covered because of their shape. She has a comment and she said, I'm sorry you had to go through all of that for real. And when elders tell us to wear something more covered, some of their advice comes from a place of care, obviously. Because they know some men would sexualize anything with a skirt, no matter the age. So some of the advice telling you to cover up may be from genuine care, but their tone of delivery is usually the problem, while some are just bitter. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. And about dressing modest, I think it just depends on the body type. What is modest for a skinny girl might be revealing for a thick girl. Most people that talk about modest dressing mostly talk about their personal preference at times. That's so wonderfully said, Chi. Thank you for sharing your opinion, and it is heard. Thank you so much. I had so much fun reading out your comments. I really want to hear your opinion in the comment section. Probably, this is our first episode. We could improve on our other episodes. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, because that's what will help this channel grow. And when I drop a new topic, please make sure to engage. See you on our next episode.